What do you buy your 3-year-old? How about the third birthday for the Sony PSP? Wait, no, this game is rated mature, 17+. Okay, maybe you don't buy them this, but you should buy it for yourself. For a 3-year-old, I would stick to those Fisher-Price toys or something. This really isn't one for the youngins, unless you want to scare them to death. You see those tentacles attacking New York City? That's because they didn't eat their vegetables. This game is chock full of guns, violence, monsters, and a girl who really needs to buy a new pair of jeans. Or does she? Now, as I understand it, this is technically not a part of the Parasite Eve series, yet still considered the third part in the Parasite Eve video game series. Those who are more familiar with it could probably elaborate. I'm not terribly familiar with the older games, but I really like this one.
Not yet. Are you crying?
Primarily because the combat and the production value is awesome. The storyline is a bit interesting. As you're playing a girl who can go back in time and jump from body to body using an overdive system or something like that. Basically, taking control of unsuspecting soldiers and walking them straight into their death or saving them, depending on how well you play. It's like Ghost in the Shell meets Cloverfield. Or the way that Mind Jack should have been had it been a lot better. Because in order to survive in the third birthday, you have to utilize this overdive skill effectively, and work with the other soldiers around you and use them as tools when necessary. You can't take on all of the enemies by yourself. You have to leave some of your comrades alive, even if they've unsuspectingly been hijacked by you. But if they knew how great you looked in those jeans, they may consider it an honor even to spend time with you. Unless maybe you're walking them into certain death because they're, expendable. The combat is excellent, which is good because 99% of the time that you play this game you'll be fighting monsters or end bosses. As shooters go, it's one of the best that I've played on the PSP, with excellent controls. You lock onto targets with the front left trigger, and shoot them with the right one, moving your character around with the analog stick. It doesn't feel like you need 2 analog sticks to play this game because of the auto-lock function, and you can change which enemy you're targeting using the D-pad. There's a ton of weapons in the game that you can upgrade, and you also level your main character up. Note that I'm just jumping from body to stay out of the monster's way. That's one of the tactics that you'll use in the game. You can't get by with brute force. Depending on what part of the game you're in, you need to keep tabs on what soldiers are around you. They frequently have sniper rifles or grenade launchers or guns that bring down laser cannons from space, which are really handy. And you'll also want to move around the battlefield quickly by overdiving into each of your soldiers, trying to keep them alive. There's different perks that you can obtain to regenerate health, and the more soldiers you have around you, the better, obviously. Note the liberation gauge at the bottom, which fills up as you shoot enemies, and then you unleash that for a very powerful shot, and you can also overdive into weakened bad guys and explode them from within. Hooray!
Focus on the target.
Whoops! Sorry I got you killed. I'll just dive into this body and treat it like a rental car. There's a ton of weapons in the game that you can buy and customize, as well as customizing Aya's abilities. You're given a rating each time you play through a giant mission, and that gives you some replay value. Also, there's a ton of unlockable content. And this is a game that will keep you busy if you enjoy it, and if you like what you see on screen, odds are you'll love the third birthday.
Not yet.
And one last thought on the game, the music throughout is terrific and totally matches what's on screen, especially during some of the boss battles and cutscenes. If you can, play this one with good headphones or through a giant stereo and soak in all the sounds, as well as the visuals. It's the third birthday.